Hello people of the internet, it's Amanza, and for today's video, I'm here to air out yet again my thoughts on Hanyo no Yashahime episode 13. Now, if you've seen my past video about Yashahime, then you might have noticed that I skipped out on a couple of episodes before I started talking about this one, and the reason for that is because there's really no value in those episodes that I saw that's worth talking about. And the only reason why I'm talking about this one is because this is an episode that I had high expectations about, but then it fell kind of flat. And that's what I'll be elaborating on in this particular video. For that, real quick, so let's recap what it's about. The story is about, again, one of the four perils sort of like causing chaos by chasing after monks and eating them. And he wants the one with strong energies, blah, blah, blah. And honestly, at this point, it's a plot that I couldn't care less about. After all, like, we've proven in the past couple of episodes that these four perils, as much as they're the ones being, I don't know, thrown into us as some of like the biggest bads in the story after Kirin Maru, there's really nothing special about them or nothing really interesting about them as compared to the minions of Naraku back in the original series. Like, they're not even that memorable, or there's no personality to them other than the fact that they just like eating people or creatures or anything like that at all. So there's really nothing there. The only reason why I ended up, paying attention to this particular episode is because in the previous one, they teased that finally, we're going to get a glimpse of Miroku, or what Miroku is up to after all these years. Now, just to backtrack a bit, if you're a bit confused, so Miroku is part of the core group from the original series. He's one of the regular companions of Inuyasha and Kagome, and at the end of the final act, he and Sango had a family, which is very active players for the plot of Hanyo no Yashahime. And that's also one of the reasons why we got to revisit their story in the first place, is because given all these like demon slaying activities type of thing, and with their children being demon slayers along with Kohaku, which is Sango's brother, so it's kind of like inevitable that they're gonna have a role in this story as well. It's just kind of curious as to where they've been for the past, I don't know, because they're not being shown. But now in this particular episode, so we finally sort of like got answers, but at the same time, it offered nothing to the main story. And the reason for that is because Miroku has been away from his family for almost 2 years now. He's been undergoing this like 1,000-day training type of thing to strengthen probably, or to gain some powers, because ever since he lost his like curse from the original story, so he felt like, that's both like a burden and an advantage on his part, and losing that, it means that he has to become stronger in other ways, and thus this entire training thing. And it showed that it sort of like showed some strain between him and then Hisui, which is his son. But other than that, like, it also showed that prior to everything else that happened, so he was also responsible for sealing off some of the demon energy or the demon blood in Setsuna so that it's easier for her to control. But again, like, looking at the entire episode, it didn't really offer anything again into whatever it is that Yashahime is trying to tell us. And I think that's where the problem starts to grow. Obviously, this episode was put here so that we can, to excite those who are feeling like the whole Monster of the Week format is getting tired. But I sort of like expected that, given that we're being reintroduced to a character that was so vital from the original series, we're finally going to get some direction in the narrative, because obviously ever since the beginning, we thought that this was going to be a journey into finding out, what happened. It I thought that it was going to either be an adventure seeking out the other rainbow pearls for a bigger cause. I don't know, but it seems like as much as that is how the story should be like, there's really no direction to the entire thing at this point, and we're already 13 episodes in. And I was kind of like hoping that introducing Miroku and partially Sango into the narrative, we're sort of like going to get like a bigger mission for the girls already. But then seeing the preview for episode 14, it seems like we're back to zero yet again. So again, this feels like this episode, as much as I'm happy finding out, what happened to the characters from the original series, again, it just feels kind of blah in the end. Now, again, I get what they're doing with this series. They don't want it to be a complete, just copy-paste of like the original one. I absolutely appreciate that. It's just that the fact that we don't have a main story, that's what's irking me about this. Like in the original series, I have to say that there were some seasons that really felt flat. Like there's just nothing happening, but you still keep on watching it because the main point of these episodes is that they're seeking out the pieces of the Shikon Jewel, and it's sort of like this battle between Naraku and Inuyasha and the gang. Like that's the main thing that we're chasing after in the original series. It has a main goal and it's evident in every single episode, despite the fact that some of the episodes feel like filler episodes, where it's just fighting off, this minor demon or anything like that or whatever. But here, again, it doesn't, like, it feels like you can miss out on a couple of episodes here and there, and you're never really missing out on anything about the main plot or even just a plot of the series in general, and that's what frustrates me. And again, it feels like these characters, given how it's just like that all the way, like it's just them fighting someone or something, discovering, having these powers, defeating whatever. We never really learn anything about them other than the fact that, they're powerful and they're doing what they're doing. And it's the same thing over and over again. And even for Moroha's character, I feel like she's gonna be like a fun character, but we never, like, I couldn't feel a sense of like depth in any of them. I'm not saying that like Inuyasha characters back then, they have this entire thing going on for them, but it's just that here, it's the same thing over and over again to the point that it's really getting stale, and I'm really getting to that point where I just want to drop the entire thing. So with that said, I'll probably not watch it every single week anymore. Just watch out for the previews and check out, when the story gets interesting again based on the previews, because other than that, it just feels like it's directionless at this point, and it's very, very frustrating because, again, as I mentioned, this is something that I've been looking forward to ever since they announced it. And again, not saying that it has to be completely about, the girls finding out, these things about their parents just to satisfy me as a fan of the original series, but I just hope that it would have its own main arc, which it doesn't at the moment. Get it if it's just the first 5 episodes, sure, but now that we're 13 episodes in and it's almost like mid-season in a way of the series, and there's still nothing there, like they're still chasing after I don't know anymore. With that said, tell me down in the comments below, like, what are your thoughts on this particular episode? How are you liking the series so far? Or is there anything that I'm missing here that would make the experience more enjoyable? Like, I don't know at this point. But yeah, so let's talk it out down in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel and you would want to hear more from me, please hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you again soon in a new one.